All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praise unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Now, the name of this lesson is going to be, If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? All right, and I'll show you in the scriptures, the scripture that says that. All right, because a lot of guys don't have the Apocrypha, so they probably wouldn't know that scripture. Anyway, to start off with the Apocrypha, we're going to go to the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 7. And if you pay attention, you'll notice that this scripture actually is the same scripture as the book of Matthew, the 7th chapter. Okay? 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 7. And when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me the angel, which had been sent unto me the nights before. And he said unto me, Up, Ezra, and hear the words I come to tell thee. And I spoke and said, Speak on, my God. Then said he unto me, The sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. But put to case the entrance were narrow, and like a river. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it, and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? There is also another thing. A city is builded, and is set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water, and only one path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small, there could be one man who goes therein at once. If this city were given unto a man for a inheritance, if he shall not pass the danger that is set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? Right, exactly. How can you receive that inheritance if you first don't go through the troubles that are before it, man? All right, going back to the name of the video, if he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? As the scripture just said, man. And that's going to lead us into what it says in the book of Matthew. All right? Which we should know these scriptures off the top of our heads. All right? Anyway, Matthew chapter 7 and verse 13, it says, Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way which leads to destruction, and there be many who go in thereat. Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leads unto life, and there be few that find it. Beware of false prophets which come unto you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. Right, now let's name some of those dudes, man. All right, because everybody thinks that they got the truth, man. Okay, which that makes it even more difficult to decide. Well, what religion is the truth? If you do your research, there are over 4,000 religions in the world, man. Okay, keep in mind I said over 4,000. Okay, so now we know that there's over 4,000 religions. The only question that needs to be answered is what one of those is the truth. And we know the answer. The answer is the scriptures are true. However, Christianity is not true, though. Okay, because Christianity is teaching a false Jesus. Okay, the scriptures speak about those who come teaching another Christ, man. Christians teach another Christ. They teach a God that's contrary to the scriptures. Okay? I mean, there's too many examples that can be given to prove that statement to be true. Okay, for example, the God of Christianity is a God who loves everybody. The God of the Bible only loves the children of Israel. Okay? The God of Christianity, when he returns, he's going to come back and, there's going to be, as they teach peace and harmony. Oh, I look forward to the day that Jesus comes back. Well, the scriptures say, woe to you who looks to the coming of the Most High. If I'm not mistaken, that's in the book of Amos. Try to find that. Yeah, there it is. This is the book of Amos, chapter 5 and verse 18. It says, Woe unto you that desire the day of Yahweh. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light, as if a man did flee from a lion, and a bear met him, or went into the house, and leaned his hand upon the wall, and a serpent bit him. Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark, and no brightness in it? Let's read verse 20 again. Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark, and no brightness in it? So how can you say that the God of the Bible, when he comes back, he's going to give out, all types of hugs and love everybody? But I'm reading from the same book you read out of on Sunday, and I'm showing you where it says the complete opposite of what you're saying, man. Okay? Or as I like to say, these scripture understanding skills are not evenly distributed. Inside joke. All right? These scripture understanding skills have not been evenly distributed. And it's true. It hasn't. All right? What about, what? As I said, I'm letting the Spirit flow. All right? Whatever the Spirit wants to bring out, we'll let it go to. Okay? We'll go to the book of Isaiah 60. How about the 63rd chapter? This is Jesus speaking here. Okay. Another thing as well, man. These Christians, especially the Seventh-day Adventists, they speak against drinking wine or alcohol. Now, I would have to argue with this. First of all, Genesis 49:12. His eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk. Who is that talking about? That is talking about so-called Jesus. But keep in mind, it says his eyes shall be red with wine. That's not talking about grapefruit juice, man. That's damn foolish right there. All right? And I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you right here in the scriptures where it says that. Okay? Then this goes into, where the Lord drank his problems away, man. Okay? So they would have called so-called Jesus a drunk man. Okay? The book of Isaiah, chapter 63, and verse 1. Who is this that comes from Edom, with dyed garments from Basra? This that is glorious in his apparel, travailing in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treads in the wine fat? I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in my anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments. And I will stain all my remnant. For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. And I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered that there was none to uphold. Therefore my own arm brought salvation unto me, and my fury it upheld me. And I will tear down the people in mine anger, and make them drunk in my fury. And I will bring down their strength to the earth. Now what is that talking about? That's talking about when so-called Jesus returns, man. Okay, he's going to go kill people. But you Christians don't teach that, man. What about Isaiah 66:15? For the Lord shall come with chariots. You know what, matter of fact, since it's been so long since I brought that scripture out, let me just read the whole thing, because it's just 2 pages away. There we go. Isaiah chapter 66, verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. How is it that you Christians don't read that, man? Okay? As we wrote in Amos, man, it says, deaf to you who desire the day of the Most High. So you Christians, the scripture clearly say, who are you? Who are you to desire the day of the Most High, man? Okay, well, what have you done? Right? Oh, you got these Christians out there, if I know a lot of brothers, right, to talk about, oh, well, I'm saved. Well, what exactly are you saved from? What have you been saved from? And a lot of the times they're not going to be able to answer that question, because when you ask, it's like, I don't know. All right? I don't know what I've been saved from. Scriptures say in Revelation, the 2nd chapter, that only he who endures until the end, the same shall receive salvation, man. And that goes back to the topic of the video, man. All right? Matter of fact, it goes back to the topic of the video, because the scriptures tell you that all those that the Lord cares about, He chastises, man. Okay, so if you're not catching any type of hell, then the Lord might not be dealing with you, man. Okay? Scriptures tell you those who the Lord loves, He chastises. Okay? So, I was just this morning, I was watching one of the GMS brothers, he uploaded a video about a testimony about how his parents turned against him, man. I had similar experiences. I've spoken a story before, so I'm not going to get into it. But, I've had that experience before, man. All right, my own family turned against me for this truth. And it's okay, because you know what? The Lord did that, man. Okay? The Lord is the one who brings these evil things to pass, man. The Lord is the one who brings these trials into your life, man. Okay? As the Lord is the one, as the scriptures say, as we read earlier, if he did not go through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? Okay? The scriptures speak about the Lord trying the elect as gold is tried in a furnace, man. Okay, why do they put gold through a furnace? To purify the gold, right? So that's exactly what the Lord's doing with the elect, man. Okay? A good example would actually be with these cans here. If you ever seen the process of how they basically melt down the aluminum cans, what they do is they throw them inside the furnace, and then since you have the outer wrapper on them and stuff, that will melt off, and then it will rise to the surface of the of the molten metal, so to speak, or aluminum, whatever word you like to say. And then they'll take that out. They'll take out the stuff they do not need, so they can just keep the metal, man. All right. Same thing with gold. All right. Same thing with the gold. So that's what the Lord's doing with the elect. The scriptures speak about how all of our righteousness is as filthy rags before the Most High, man. Okay. So that's another thing, man. You got guys talking about how you can earn your way to the kingdom, man. Look, man, if you're not down with Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, then you ain't going nowhere, man. Okay? It's that simple. Well, let me say this. You are going to be in the kingdom. You are going to be in the kingdom. Because first of all, everybody's going to the kingdom of heaven. Every person will be in the kingdom of heaven. Okay? Or I shouldn't say in the actual kingdom itself, because when the kingdom is established, there's not just going to be one kingdom on the earth. The scriptures speak about in the book of Isaiah, the 60th chapter, and the book of Revelation, I believe it's the 20th or the 22nd chapter, it speaks about how the kings of the earth would bring their riches to the gate of the Most High's kingdom. So if there's just one kingdom that's going to be ruling the world, then where are these other kings coming from? If you have a king, that means you have a kingdom that he rules over. Okay? So the kingdoms that are going to be ruling, they're going to be under Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, man. Alright, the scriptures, I believe it's Isaiah, the 9th chapter, I could be mistaken, it might be Isaiah, the 60th chapter. It says that all nations that would not serve you, they shall utterly perish and they shall fall by the sword. When's that going to happen? That's going to happen in the kingdom, man. Okay, so the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai is going to rule over all kingdoms. Okay? That's just the way it's going to happen. If you're not down with it, well, hey, you better get down with it, or you're gonna find out what happens. It's that simple, man. All right. So that is just all I want to speak about for now. With that being said, I'm gonna say shalom.